journey. And I have with me tonight uh, Colleen, the cool crone, and Cleo the seer. Hey guys.
Hi.
Hello, hello. So, yet the notices are just dropping. I'm glad that you're both live streaming to your audience. Perfect. So, Cleo, how many subscribers are you at?
I'm not sure. I haven't looked lately. 500 and some, 514 or
Good
18
for
or
you.
19.
I'll look for you because I'm curious.
Good for you. Good for
Yeah.
you.
Well, it's Gerald Tarot
Ah,
Stash who has been promoting me all along, and it's entirely him. I mean, because I haven't done anything. So yeah.
well, you're doing good. You're doing good.
You have 517 subscribers as of
There
today.
you go. But everybody,
Yay.
please, if you haven't subscribed, go to my channel and subscribe. And also, I am streaming this show to my channel.
Yay!
Oh, lovely. Perfect. Okay.
That's great.
And who's here? We've got artist Liz. Hello. We've got Amber, Gemstone Rhapsody. Sherry, Voices from the Swamp is here.
Hey, Sherry.
We've got Lisa, who's saying thank you for Mexico. Oh, bienvenido.
Oh, we're in.
We've got Cat Claudia, Cat Mama do drop in. Thank you for stopping by. Hopefully you'll enjoy our conversation and whatnot. So before we get into things, Colleen, what have you got happening over the next little while? What have you got going on?
Well, of course, tomorrow I have polyterology with a whole bunch of fun people. Well, they're weird, but they're very fun. They're very fun, the
Yes.
people who are coming to see us. And then on Saturday, I'm doing a special show because Linda G actually can't make it on Friday night with us for polyterology. So Val and I are going to meet with Linda G on Saturday night at 7 p.m. Not really a polyterology. We're going to do half politics and half personal. So the first half we'll do politics,
Nice.
we'll switch over to personal.
When
Yes,
is that?
that's tomorrow night
Beautiful.
or Saturday night. I keep thinking this is Friday.
And
That's
Linda G can't be on Friday night?
no.
Oh, no.
So does that mean you're dropping out too?
Yeah, I'm thinking about it.
Okay. A very exciting thing on Monday, and I think that's the 19th. On Monday night, I am
Yes.
guest hosting Caffeinated and Unfiltered on Gerald's channel because he can't be there. So I'm doing the hosting duties for that. So that's gonna
Nice.
be fun. Yeah.
Nice. That'll be fun. That'll be fun.
Yeah.
And how about you, Cleo? What have you got on the go that's exciting?
Well, I thought I was going to be doing polyterology on tomorrow night, but I'm thinking now I might not want to. And maybe I can get invited to the Saturday show,
Okay.
or maybe I could do both. But we'll just see. And then, of course, I'm totally looking forward to Caffeinated and Unfiltered with Colleen being the host. And I've already warned Gerald that may have been a mistake, but
Well, he's a big boy. He's a big boy.
yeah, he said he could handle it. And then further into the week, we've got the Golden Girls on Thursday. So
Yes, we do.
that covers most of it.
Yeah.
Yes, we do. Oh, perfect. Oh, that's wonderful. And yes, we're all hoping that Cherry is on the mend. If you haven't heard, she's down with the COVID.
Oh,
Oh.
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah. Her son tested positive and she hasn't been feeling good. And yeah, she tested positive, I think, yesterday or the day before. So
Oh. I'm so
yeah,
sorry.
sending her lots of healing energy and love and all that
yeah,
good stuff.
definitely.
Definitely.
Yeah. So, and hello, Starhawk. Thank you for being here. And before I forget to mention it, for those whose ever channel you happen to be on, we can see all your chat. You may only be able to see the chat that's happening in that particular room. Okay. So I will say, please, whose ever channel you're on, make sure that you like, share, and subscribe. and then go over to the other channels and do the same thing, because there we really want to be able to raise that YouTube algorithm, because there are people out there who are looking for our message. They just don't know where we are. So when you do that, you help them find us.
Yeah, the thumbs up helps a lot. And commenting, even if you're just putting in a few emojis, it helps a lot. You'd be surprised how much further the videos go out when you do that
Yes.
stuff.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. So, yeah, what are we going to do this evening? Well, I thought we'd take a look at some, I mean, I said this was, kitchen table topics. So, what would you normally talk about at your kitchen table? Well, how about the hush money trial?
That's what I talk about on my kitchen table.
I know. I know. So, it is the Judge Marchant, right? Is that what his name is?
Yes,
Yeah.
Marchant.
Yes, he was not very happy with Trump people who were, or his lawyers, who were constantly interrupting and wanting to have the right, doing the thing that they always do, right? Which is just draw attention to.
They want to delay. They want to delay the trial, and they're working very hard at that. And it just didn't go over with the judge. The judge was picking up was naming off all the other cases that Trump has. They said, well, at that time, you don't have anything in Florida. You don't have anything in Washington, D.C. You don't have anything in Georgia. So, no, we're not delaying the trial.
Yeah, exactly. Well, this is election interference. No, it's not. No, it's not. This is, you know what? Your client did something he ought not to have done.
On his last election, and in 2016, if he hadn't have done that, maybe things would have been different.
I wonder, do you think he ever looks back and says to himself, I should never have gone down that escalator?
No,
I think I think he's just pissed that he got caught.
Yes.
He's like, damn it. I wish this had never come up because the other attorney supposedly is the one that exposed it all. And that other attorney, what's his name, Colleen or something,
Michael Cohen.
He ended up going to jail over this thing. So,
yes.
No, he's just like, and everything that comes down on him is election interference, and nobody's buying that. It has nothing. No. It's not. He interfered in the election, period, back in 2016. So,
exactly. Tried to take over a coup.
That too. That's in 2020. But the fact that he got in at all, he may not have gotten in as easy as he did if everybody had known that he was pulling these kind of stunts in the background of paying people off to not. If he paid her off, how many other people has he paid off to get them to shut up to make him look good so that he could be president back in 2016? He did, and he just keeps doing the same stuff. So now he's finally, it's coming out. It's coming back to bite him in the butt, and I love it.
It is. And I think astrologically, Colleen, isn't this is a very bad time for him, isn't it?
Super bad. Super bad. He's got his sun is conjunct Uranus, which just right away just makes him a crazy MFer. And there's this conjunction between Jupiter and Uranus coming up in April right after the eclipse that is just going to hit him like the proverbial ton of bricks. Not to mention that he's sensitive to eclipses because he was born on an eclipse. And so I think the whole period from the first eclipse is March 25th, and there's another one on the 8th. This whole period I guess starting now. I thought it would start in March, but I guess it's starting now. This whole period now through probably the end of April and beginning of May is just horrible for him. Just terrible, and it doesn't really get that much better the rest of the year. So,
well, isn't the trial date? Isn't the trial date March 25th?
March 25th. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
God.
perfect. So
Boy.
perfect.
Things just
Yeah.
aren't working out for him. Darn it all.
Not anymore. Yeah, that's that's why while you were talking, I grabbed my tissue because I do feel for him.
Tiny
You know.
tiny
Yeah.
violin playing. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So what's your feeling? You think that that trial is going to go ahead as scheduled? Is there I
Yeah.
don't think that there's anything that he can do now. I mean,
Yeah. I think
what's
he's
the real
run out.
deal?
I think he's run out of cudgels to throw into the legal works. And I think that he's what I'm getting is that he's all of a sudden off balance, and he's not usually off balance. I mean, he's
Yeah.
usually off balance in that he's just a nut job, but when it comes to planning his moves and his plans, he
Yeah.
usually has a pretty good idea of what he wants to do, especially put when people push back on him, when he's in a fight. He loves a fight. He loves the whole thing. He's got, you know, in his tiny little brain, he's got his little boxing moves, legal boxing moves that he's doing,
Yeah.
and he really thinks he's good at it. Well, clearly he's not
Okay.
very good at it, because the judge today just went through item by item and said, no, that's irrelevant. No, that's stupid. No, that isn't really an argument. No, you know what? That's not even relevant to what's going on in this case. No, no, no. And you don't have any other cases. So, boo, you're coming up here in March. That's what
Yeah.
So the judge just kind of went through a checklist, a punch list for him. And Trump, had nothing to come back with, and neither did his attorneys. So they all start acting like kindergartners. Well,
Yes.
that's not going to go over well with the judge. And what I'm getting is that at some point we're going to see Trump literally act like a toddler. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if he did some crap like sit down on the floor, or, sit at the table with his arms crossed and like, whoa, the whole
Yeah.
time. I mean, he's just going to act like a toddler. And this is not going to help him at all, because this is a jury trial. This isn't a trial just in front of a judge. So,
Well, that's what I was going to ask. I'm not really clear. I thought that they already did some legal maneuvers about Stormy Daniels. And now the trial is for exactly for what? To prove that he did pay somebody off? Is that
it's election fraud is what the
okay?
real
Okay.
case is coming on about. I could pull up my
That he paid her off in order for her to shut up.
To shut up. Yeah.
yeah,
And
but
yeah.
that's not the crime. The crime is that the money he used was
Yeah.
supposed to be for the election, and paying off your mistress is not a legitimate election activity.
Are you?
You don't
It's like
say.
surprise. Who
Yeah.
knew?
and so and so because that's not a good it goes against the laws of election finance, and so that's
Yeah.
election fraud. So
Yeah, because he
I'm
he
gonna
tried to put it off as a legal expense because what's his name? Michael Cohen
Yeah.
paid her, and then Trump paid him back. But instead of just paying him back, he tried to put it through as a legal expense.
right.
And that's one of the I think it's one of the things that Michael Cohen got in trouble for and went to prison for. Now, he was never really one of my favorite people, but I do think that this was a huge wake-up call for him. And I think that he finally was able to kind of let go of the cult of Trump, and say, no, 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 because really, I mean, yeah he went to jail. He lost his law license. There was a lot of things that happened. And what happened to Trump? Oh, fake news. Michael who? Did he bring me coffee? I don't know who he is.
Yeah, exactly. He did just dismiss Michael Cohen. And Yeah, that
Yeah.
guy just stood by his side and tried to do what he thought he was, I don't know, what he thought Trump would help him out with.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he let Michael Cohen take all of the illegalities.
Oh,
Yep.
he didn't just let him take them. He forced what's the bonehead that's all over the news? The former attorney general also starts
Bill Barr.
Bill Barr. He forced Bill Barr to really push that case and make it much tougher on Michael Cohen. You notice
Wow.
that what's his name, the accountant, Weisselberg,
Weiselberg.
he has spent a total of 100 days in jail, and he lied his ass off all over the place, and now that's coming into play with Engoron's decision that, oh, he lied to me, oh, then these fines are going to be much worse. But with
Yeah.
Michael Cohen, he turned on Trump, told the truth, testified to everybody in the world exhaustively, went broke doing it, went broke trying to represent himself in the courts. And what does he get for it? Like 2.5 years in prison, in a lot of it in solitary confinement, because they were ordered to treat him badly. So what I'm worried about with the hush money case is jury tampering.
Mm.
That's what I'm really worried about, because Trump is he's a caged animal. He's cornered. He doesn't have anywhere to turn. And I know that he thinks of himself as a mob boss, and he thinks,
Yeah.
oh, we'll just, intimidate everybody so that they don't find me, guilty. By the way, Cleo, all the stuff that went on in this case before now were all hearings and motions brought by Trump's lawyers to delay or dismiss the case. He actually put in a motion to dismiss this case.
Yeah.
He's done that in every single case.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
just says, "Oh, well, it's just not right. Just dismiss it. We just want
I
to
did
dismiss."
nothing wrong.
And
Yeah,
what
it
that
was a
does,
perfect phone call.
and what that does is it delays, because the court has to take it seriously. They find enough stupid little things to gather together into a little posy of issues that they can take to the court and go, this is what they did. And, in the end, the judge will do just what this judge has done and say, no, no, that didn't. No, that's not right. No, that's irrelevant. No, you're wrong. So it's just, it just gums up the works. But the the joke's on him. Eventually it will come out. And now the more he delays on anything else, the more sure thing it is that he's going to be on trial during the red hot period of the election, and even right around after it. So, it's
Yeah. And I think maybe this was something old that I saw, or maybe it was something new. I can't quite remember but Weiselberg getting 5 months, being sentenced to 5 months. So maybe that was the 100 days. Okay, but yeah, Weiselberg is, if he's facing additional charges, which I think he is,
he is.
he's not a young man.
No, he's not.
Like, um and really, what has Trump done for him? Nothing.
No.
Nothing. He gave him a big severance package. Well, I hope that check cleared. And I hope that it's not being, doled out in installments, because,
Well, Weiselberg would know if it cleared or not, because remember, while Trump was in the White House, Weiselberg was one of the 2 or 3 people who had to give final say on any kind of financial
mhm,
things in Trump.org. But yeah, I mean, Weiselberg, I guess because, Trump paid for all of his kids and grandkids to go to college. He bought him cars, he bought him apartments. He probably initially paid for all of his legal fees, but I don't know if he's afforded to pay for his legal fees now, but he was paying for his legal fees too,
Yeah.
which is
Well, I think he might have a little bit of problem helping out other people with the legal fees, since he's running out of
yeah,
money.
uh-huh.
But don't forget, he does not use his own money.
True. No, he's using the Republican money, and they're running out of money.
Oh no, the Republicans ran out of money. They stopped
Yeah.
paying his legal fees back in, I think, October.
Oh, okay.
But what he's done is he's got these two different super PACs.
Yeah.
whose names I have conveniently forgotten because they're nauseating.
Yes. Yeah.
And get this, so he has this one super PAC that he says right on the website that, one out of every, $100 is going to go towards my campaign. The rest of the money is going to go towards me and whatever I need it for. It's actually on there in writing. He's so stupid.
Oh my God.
And so that's just his piggy bank. So he was using money from that. And then he started a different PAC for different cases. And then he thought, oh, this maybe looks bad. So he did some cockamamie thing where he refunded one of the PACs from money from the other PAC and then wrote himself a loan from one of the other PACs. And so what he's doing is he's trying to make this money trail so convoluted and so hard to follow that it's harder than a shell game with an offshore company in the Bahamas. I mean, like, you can't figure out who owns what and what's going where and where the shell is. So it's clear. It's so obvious. It's such a New York mobster thing to do. It is
Totally.
just so obvious what he's doing. He's not, I mean, maybe he just figures that he'll be dead by the time anybody catches on to it.
Well, could be.
Well, and
But,
also,
yeah,
I think,
and he go
I
ahead.
think what you said about the that he has a clause in there that says $1 for this and the rest for me.
Pretty much, yeah.
Well, okay, when he does that, he's legally covering himself. They can't come back.
No, they can't. No, he's not. He thinks he is because he's not defrauding the public as far as like a GoFundMe or a contribution, a charitable organization. But this is elections. Super PACs and election things have really different laws. And so when you're a super PAC is not supposed to, the people who run the PAC are not supposed to interfere or have any real connection to the actual candidate and his organization. Hands off. They give money and then it's hands off, right? Election finance law says that you can, contribute so much money, you can do this, that, and the other thing, but the candidates are supposed to report how they use the money.
Yep.
And again, paying your personal legal fees is not an election activity.
No.
So to me, and Rossi said this in the comments, and I've been asking this for months, but nobody's reading on it. Isn't this all illegal? Isn't this also campaign finance fraud that he should be held liable for? And I say, yes, it is. I don't care what disclaimer he puts on there. I don't care. It doesn't matter because it's under a different set of laws.
Okay. Okay.
And you know what? Not only election fraud, but if this much goes to the campaign, this much comes to me personally. If I was the IRS, I'd be asking, so how much exactly did you take it personally? Have you paid taxes?
Yes, bingo. I agree. All of this stuff, it's just one big daisy chain of fraud. Then all along the way, he's not paying taxes. He's not claiming it. He's taking all this money from these people under false pretenses. He's breaking all sorts of laws. I mean, he's just like they say. He
does put into all his contracts little clauses that you normally wouldn't see, just like he did with his real estate stuff, where they said something was worth 15 million, and he said no, it's worth $1 billion, and he will come out with clauses in the contract that says this may not be correct. He doesn't say it just like that, but he just like,
you can't take anything we say as
Well, that may have worked in 1965 when he had Roy Cohn as his attorney, and his dad Fred was running everything. That may have worked then, doesn't work now.
Oh,
Still, you still have to abide by actual laws. This is one of 7 bazillion reasons that Letitia James wants to get him out of New York, because he's incredible the way he tries to twist things and make it his way and everything. I mean, it's the same thing that he wants to do with the United States government. He just wants to twist it around to be what he wants it to be, and you can't do that.
Well, speaking of that, speaking of New York and all that good stuff, today the SEC, the Securities Exchange Commission, said that it was they basically green lighted a merger between his Truth Social, which is run by
Nunez.
What is it called now? Something technology.
Oh, okay.
Whatever, Trump Technology Group or whatnot, and Digital World Acquisition Group, which is sort of the blank check part of the thing. The deal apparently would allow Trump to take Truth Social public and might be worth as much as $4 billion. That's what they're saying. Now, they're also saying that, oh yeah, don't forget, this is the guy who, instead of having $1 million, he's got a gazillion dollars. So you can't really take value, sort of at face value. But besides this kind of being a little shady to begin with, this would happen, I think, in New York. So if Judge Engoron comes out and does his ruling, which I think is going to happen tomorrow, and all of a sudden he can't do business in New York, what happens with this deal? Is this deal, because if he can't do business in New York, then how do you how do you square that?
Are you sure it's New York that he's doing his Truth Social?
Yeah, that's what I'm going to Google.
Or is it Florida maybe? Or I don't know how far the arm reaches on this. I mean, you eliminate
Florida.
It is Florida?
Yeah.
Okay.
It doesn't say that it's registered in Florida, but that's where the headquarters are, Sarasota, Florida.
Okay.
It's reported to have about 40 employees. I doubt that it's worth $4 billion.
Yeah, exactly. And the Truth Social part of it doesn't really bring in any revenue. So how could something be worth that? It doesn't.
So he's doing the same thing with Truth Social that he did with all his businesses in New York.
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
He hasn't learned his lesson.
I see the Wikipedia thing about Truth Social is where I got the 40 employees. And then it says, what is the people also ask, what is the valuation? And this is from Forbes, 5 to 25 million is the estimated value.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So not 4B with the, it's not billion.
Oh, well, then he just screwed up a little bit. He added, 6 more zeros or something?
Yeah.
Well, and it says that is the estimated value of TMTG. That's the thing.
Trump management or Trump media.
Yeah, according to financial disclosures made by Trump to the Federal Election Commission earlier this year, that's a pretty dramatic decline from the $875 million valuation for the social media company when the SPAC merger with the DWAC, those are his PACs, those are his super PACs, when they were first announced. So back then he said, oh, it's worth $875 million. Today he's saying $4 billion. This guy needs to be medicated, strapped in, isolated, taken away from society. He needs a little tinfoil hat on his head. He needs a straight jacket. He needs a rubber room.
Yeah. Do you guys get the feeling that he's not going to make it to November?
Yeah, let's read on that.
Okay, let's. Yeah. Does he even make it to November?
Well, a lot of people have read on this. And they think
good. We'll be in good company then.
no, but the energy comes and goes. And I've seen that he doesn't even get on the ballot, but then I think that's changing because he's just about booted Nikki Haley off of there, and who's left, and the Republicans would definitely go for Trump, and they're just pushing for him 1,000%. So maybe he does make it to the ballot. But I don't know. You know, there are a lot of people are thinking that he's going to have some health concerns that will put him be unable to do it, just physically unable to do it.
That's what I'm getting. That's what I'm getting, Cleo, is that with all these trials and things coming up, this is a man who, for 77 years old, he has never been held accountable for anything, ever. Except now he is. He doesn't have experience how to deal with it. He's absolutely explosive. And I could see that it's going to start when Engeron comes out with his ruling, and for some reason I'm getting 700 million. I don't know why. Could be right.
That would be the 350 million times 2. Is that or a little bit more than that?
Yeah, 350. And that would, include whatever the interest is at 9% and so on. So I'm thinking, 700 million. Judge Engeron also has that retired judge that is overseeing everything at Trump. Like, all the things have to go through her, and she was the one who submitted the report saying that there's a lot of things that, things were miscalculated, mistakes were made. They don't really have a lot of things in place. So I see the court saying, you're not doing business in New York. Everything is being seized until all these things are covered, until these debts and whatnot are paid. And you're going to pay us. Oh, you're going to pay E. Jean Carroll as well. And he doesn't have the money. I see him having to start selling off properties, like his 30,000 square foot penthouse apartment that will shrink overnight to about 9,000 square feet. And, Mar-a-Lago and all that kind of stuff.
I see the same thing. Yes, they're definitely going to end up seizing. Well, and even, whatever they come up with, Trump's not going to be able to pay it. And so they have no choice but to seize his property. So that's definitely going to happen. How far it goes out, will they start seizing his golf courses and stuff down in Florida and stuff? I don't know. I think they might just limit it to New York right now. But yeah, I definitely think that's going to happen. And for him to be trying to run for president with all this other stuff going on, there's a good chance he won't make it through to November. I see where oh God, what's his name? Manchin or Munchin or
Oh yeah, Manchin.
Joe Manchin.
That I think he's thinking about running. He's waiting to see just how far things go with Trump. And then he was talking about, I just saw this today, that he was thinking Mitt Romney would run with him as the vice president. So
I don't even think Romney would share a cab with Joe Manchin. I just don't see that happening at all.
No, I can. What the image that I keep getting in my head is Trump getting so agitated and so mad that he cannot control what is going on, and that things are being done to him, that he literally, there's something inside his brain that just goes kaboom.
He
And
strokes
all of
out.
a sudden, yeah, he strokes out and he's incapacitated. Entertainment purposes only, it goes across the screen. Yeah, that's what does him in. And that he absolutely cannot function, let alone anything else.
Well, and I know that a lot of people on here have been saying that for the last year, and I've kind of stayed out of it. I didn't really get that that's what
Yeah.
would happen, but I do see him not really making it to the through. Well, I know even if he made it on the ballot, he's not going to get it. But I think there's going to be trouble getting to the ballot, or there's going to be well, it could be him getting sick. I don't know. But there's a part of me that's like, God, I hope you guys are right.
Yeah. Not, you know what? Not that I would never go out of my way to wish ill on someone, but it would not hurt my feelings if that happened to him.
It couldn't happen to a nicer guy, really.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah.
Well,
What'd you get, Colleen?
so I see that this is obviously this is taking a toll, and that at some point, and I think that point is coming probably in April, that Trump just becomes disinterested in everything because he doesn't feel good. He just physically doesn't feel up to all of this. Oh God, am I going to sneeze? Excuse me. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Bless you.
Well, we got the voters pamphlet. And I see that, where is this? His picture is that same grumpy picture. I'm like, here we go. Here's Donald Trump. I don't know if you guys all have the same thing, but here, wait a minute. Donald Trump. Like, let's vote for this guy. It's like he just got out of prison or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the same. It's the
Just
same.
a bad look.
Is that his arrest photo from Fulton County?
I think so.
God, yeah. Okay. Okay, let me keep going with my cards here. So I feel like he's down. Keep the picture up. I think that's a good visual. He's down. He's lethargic. He's uninterested. He just is feeling. He's one hair's breadth away from feeling dejected because he won't allow himself to feel dejected. And then I think that it begins to dawn on him that he's in an untenable situation, that he can't really get out of this. And then he gets really mad. And then he starts lashing out. He starts reaching out to people who he thinks can help him. And I don't think Putin's willing to help him anymore. I know a lot of people are saying on the news that, oh yeah, Putin just loved that. I don't think Putin gives a crap about him anymore.
No.
And I don't think that Putin's giving him money anymore. I think he's still interfering in the United States election, entertainment purposes only. But I think he's doing that because he just hopes that whoever gets in that's not Biden, that he can manipulate them. So I don't think he's really that enamored of Trump anymore. And I think he leaves Trump high and dry. I think then that the resulting court cases begin to pile up with failures for Trump and successes for the prosecutors. I just see a whole bunch of them. And the final outcome card I get is the King of Swords, which is a prosecutor or a judge who is prevailing over Trump. So, and I just want to say, I have had a couple of different visions about Trump's future. And one of them is, I think, going to happen this summer or maybe starting April, May, June kind of time, that he does have some sort of a event, that really blows out the gaskets, blows out the circuits. I've always seen that. But the resulting thing, and this may not happen in real life, but what I see is him in a wheelchair, kind of held together by surgical tape and IVs. And he just really can't function at all.
but he shows up for some reason. And I don't think in real life he would do that if he looked that bad. I don't think he'd allow himself to go out.
No, his ego would never allow that.
And I think at the point that I'm seeing him, probably his children are making decisions for him at that point because he's really out of it. And I don't think they'd want him to be seen in public either. But I do see a tremendous physical debilitation that is probably the reason that he probably won't be actually electable. His name may already be printed on the ballots by the time this all comes to light, because I can't imagine that if he got into that state, that his people would allow it to come out into the public. I mean, look at the way they're already whitewashing the headlines about what Goron and Marchand are talking about. They're not even letting that stay in the headlines. You're not even getting major publications like the Washington Post and the New York Times. They're not even running those stories because that's a blip. And then it's like, oh no, we're not supposed to talk about that, which I think is horrible. But I mean, the guy is really he's decompensating before our eyes. And it is very sad. But
I just wanted to mention, we just saw the picture of Trump, and that's in the Washington State's ballot thing.
Yeah.
No, it's not the ballot thing. What is this called? The voters pamphlet.
Yeah.
But here's Joe Biden.
Yes.
Yeah, like Mr. Normal, Mr. Happy Guy. It's your uncle that comes to Thanksgiving and makes dad jokes. I mean, let's bring on normalcy. Let's just have a good old normal thing. So, I mean, yeah. So
I know, Colleen, that you have been talking about seeing Trump in his bunny slippers with the presidential seal on them, and putting him in a room to make him believe that he won or that he's got people rooting for him. I don't know that it's going to get that bad.
I think that has changed too. I don't think now that he's going to be able to ambulate. I think he's going to need to be like in a wheelchair. And I think when he gets to that point, I think he's not far away from transitioning, because this to him is utter failure. When his body fails him to the point where he can't put on a Spanx and a diaper and make it through a press conference, that's to him utter failure, because he's all about the look, and at some point,
strong man.
Yeah.
Apparently, Putin did an interview just the other day on Russian television for something that he was giving a speech on anyway, and he was being interviewed. And so the commentator asked him, if he was paying attention to the American elections, and who did he think would make a better president? And he said that he really hoped that Joe Biden would win re-election, because Joe Biden he's got a career in politics, and he basically, what he was saying is Joe Biden knows what he's doing.
Right.
Yeah.
And I wasn't quite sure if that was his way of signaling to some of the Trump supporters that, oh my God, we better get out there and make sure that we vote for Donald, because Putin might have turned against us, and now he wants Biden to win. He was also asked about the Tucker Carlson interview and how he felt about that, and he said he was very disappointed, and that he felt that he anticipated that Tucker Carlson would ask him some hard-hitting questions, and he was very disappointed that he didn't.
Oh my God.
So, hot dog diggity. I mean, I think Tucker Carlson went there at the behest of Putin, who needed to get his narrative out there in front of people. I think Carlson also went there because he was either delivering a message to Putin from Trump or taking back a message from Trump or from Putin to Trump. But I think that was sort of my feeling was.
Marina,
Yeah,
I don't know. I saw a quick article on that. Didn't have time to read the whole thing, but yes, I did see him kind of supporting Biden, and I'm not sure what little tricks he's up to.
that's just
I
it.
just don't believe any. I just don't put any emphasis on anything Putin says, and anything that comes out of Russia is propaganda. So he's probably trying to twist things around to get people confused. I don't know, but
Yeah, that was sort of, that was kind of my question was, okay, I can't believe for 1 minute that he is actually being honest and sincere. Like,
oh no,
no. If Putin's lips are moving, he's lying. That's the same as Trump. We all know that, right? So, yeah.
Well,
And,
he hates it that the United States is supporting Ukraine and putting all this money into it. So, and that's why he wanted Trump in the first place, because he knew that Trump wouldn't go there. And and then for him to all of a sudden do this backward thing of like, oh no, I like Biden. You don't.
yeah. Oh my God. Oh, Book says, oh, poop, just got the notification. Can you start over?
For you, sure.
For you, Book? Yes, of course.
So I don't think that was Putin.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't think that was Putin. I think that was a stand-in. I really don't think that was him. And I also think that Tucker Carlson wasn't so much invited, but commanded to come by Putin. And I think, they see Tucker Carlson at a very vulnerable stage in his life and career. And he's a very needy, egocentric person. So he needs to feed that ego. And taking away his audience at Fox is probably the worst thing anybody could have ever done to him. So I feel that he's, I fear for his safety. I mean, while he was in Russia, was it The Hague or whoever does these things, told him they wanted to talk to him about his knowledge of war crimes, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And I have a feeling if Tucker plays with doing these, because I can see him envisioning himself as kind of like a modern day Geraldo Rivera.
Yeah.
And doing big interviews with big world leaders. And I think he's going to find himself behind a big bunch of bars, because I think one of those countries that he goes to is not going to let him come home. That's my take on him.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think he's going to become a political prisoner in some awful authoritarian country. And it's all going to be of his own making, because he's going to try to get away from those guys who want to talk to him about, what was it, war crimes or what? Who was that I got to Google that. But anyway, they wanted to talk to him. And I can see him running away from that by hopping into another dictator's office and doing another interview. And if he isn't careful, one of them, he's going to look sideways at somebody, and it's not going to be that tea or jumping out a window. It's going to be prison, and it's going to be forever.
Yeah. Put him away. Well, yeah, absolutely. And I think, Hillary Clinton was the one who was interviewed about him going over there. And she said, well, he's a useful idiot. And, they're going to get what they can out of him. And, they're going to exploit him. But yeah, that's what he is. He's a useful idiot. And he is. And it's so sad that he can't see that he's being exploited, that he's willing to go along with that. So that's unfortunate.
So I was wondering if I could change the subject.
Sure.
It depends.
Okay, a thing came up about Aileen Cannon.
Yes.
And it was looking very dismal for her. It was looking. I mean, I know that Jack Smith has put in a bunch of stuff, and he now wants to finally get rid of her. And all of a sudden today, she did a huge backpedal, and she's not going to let Trump do some of the things. Again, I didn't get to read the whole article, but the headline was something about that she was going to deny him to do something. Are you going to look this up for me, Colleen?
Whoa. Wait, what am I looking up?
Cannon, and find out what she said about that she's not going to dismiss something, or she's not going to prolong something. She's not going to delay something. I think she's not going to delay something.
It says, Judge Cannon, yes, Judge Cannon just shot down. Oh, wait, jumped past the thing. Just shot down a Trump delay tactic. Isn't buying Donald Trump's newest delay tactic in the classified documents case. On Thursday, Cannon, a Trump-appointed judge, shut down the GOP frontrunner's effort to postpone. Get that box out of there. To postpone pretrial deadlines, instead opting to keep that date set on February 22. Wow, that's right around the corner. So all the pretrial deadlines, that means any motions that they want to have heard beforehand, and that also means then very shortly after that, probably I don't know, a week or two after that, then they would start jury questionnaires.
Yes.
Well, this is totally the opposite of where it was going a few days ago. The way it was going a few days ago, it was like she's going to let Trump and his attorneys look at all this confidential information, and Jack Smith is saying, you do that, and you've got trouble. And that's when he started putting all these briefs in, and now she's backpedaling really, really fast.
Well, and then there's one more sentence on this that says, but the ruling comes with an exception, noting that she'll still consider measures filed at the 11th hour if the legal teams can prove they're necessary.
Right.
Oh, gosh.
So she gave herself a note.
Exactly. Yeah, she's giving herself a note.
That is not something a judge usually puts in an order.
No.
They don't say, hey, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. If you can prove it to me,
yeah,
come on over and we'll get busy. They don't usually do that. So.
No.
Jeez.
Wow.
So does this change anybody's opinion of her, or is it just smoke screens here?
But
I do think she knows that he got her between a rock and a hard place.
So when will they be dislodging her from this case and getting somebody new? And does that mean that the case gets postponed for like a year? Or does that mean that just somebody slips in like an old shoe and just starts moving? What do we think?
Well, if you're banking on courts, to me, I thought from the beginning, if they get rid of her, it would be just another delay. So Trump wouldn't really care one way or the other, and that she would be the scapegoat. But I think with this current action that she's doing, although she's hedging, and it does seem like smoke screens here, that somebody has told her, you better get your shit together or you're out.
Yeah. Well, she certainly sees herself as someone who's fighting for the quote unquote right side. Like she's bought into the Trumpster train big time. And I think she's also being spoken to by what are they? No, not the libertarians, but the Matt Gaetz kind of circle.
The Magatonians.
Those. I think that they're very much telling her what she needs to do. And I think that, they realize that they kind of overplayed themselves, because up until now, she hasn't put out anything that Jack Smith could take to court and say, look, here's the paperwork. She made an error in judgment on this point, because what she has done is she's made pronouncements from the bench, but she hasn't put anything down in writing. So I think that's the, and even now she's not putting anything down in writing. She's giving them an out.
Oh, this wasn't in writing, this thing?
No, I don't think so. I don't know, to be honest with you. I don't know. That's the fact that she backpedaled was news to me. But
Well,
I'm willing to
it does sound like an order. It does sound like she made an order and said, we're going to follow through with what we've already got planned. So there's no more delays.
Okay. Well,
but
that
I didn't,
not,
that last little paragraph of,
yeah.
but if you guys come up with a decent argument, I'll consider that. That's basically what she's saying. So it could still, she could be getting our hopes up just to have it be demolished again. But I think Jack Smith is really beginning to put the screws to her, because he was just waiting. And when she said, hey, no, go ahead, everybody can look at that classified information. They need to see that. And he's like, okay, because that puts these witnesses in danger.
Yes. Yes.
And, he really, he did not care for that. And he started doing legal maneuvers right then and there.
Yeah.
So
it says that this was her first order. So she
she put it in writing. Well.
Badly, but she did put it in writing.
Yeah.
Oh, bless her heart.
You know what? I'm thinking, August, September, she's gone.
Yeah, I'm getting September.
Yeah.
But I think things really heat up in July. I think in July she starts acting like she's fighting back, in other words, in starting in July. I think until then she's just going to keep doing. God, I hate people like this. Like, you're trying to like get them to do something and they're just like, like they just like move over here, and then they move over here, and then you tell them you don't like that, and they go, oh, you don't like it. They're just they're like gooey. Like, they just kind of like slide around the edges of what you want them to do, and they're so annoying because they won't just play the regular rules. Like, she's just not playing the regular game. Like, she didn't go to judge school and take notes. She's just like making it up and just like trying to keep her butt clean, and it's just not going to work. It's not going to work. But
even if they take her off the case, it doesn't really. You don't really know if that's going to help anything. It depends on who takes over. To me, again, I think she would go for that. I think she would, fall on the sword for Trump and go ahead, just so long as they can delay it beyond the election. That's the whole thing with this particular case, especially that they want this to be delayed until after November. And so I've never seen a jury getting this case. I've never seen that ever. And as far as her being booted out of there, all she has to do, I don't think she minds, but if you can take it up to August, September, October, anywhere in there, that's fine with her, because that just means that there's no way in hell it's going to happen in November. What's not good is would she be removed from the bench? And I don't think whatever she's pulling is going to be enough to get her off the bench.
I do.
So that would be her biggest fear.
I don't even think it's
totally unqualified.
She's drunk the Kool-Aid. She believes the Magster. She thinks that he walks on water, and she believes that if she has to leave the bench, he will assign her to the Supreme Court or a big think tank with a big paycheck attached to it.
True.
So she doesn't fear that. She's just as MAGA cuckoo as all the other maggots and Magatonians. She really believes she's doing the emperor's work. She really believes that this is a higher calling. For her to screw up this case is like, the equivalent of taking her vows as a nun. She just thinks this is the most important thing in the world. And she doesn't care if she has to sacrifice her judgeship for it, because she knows that she's going to land on her feet just fine.
Yeah. She's
because she thinks if she does this, Yes, he will definitely get it. He'll definitely be president, and he will save the day for her again. Um,
And even if he doesn't, she's got her hubby to help her. Her hubby has mob connections, supposedly. Entertainment purposes only.
yeah, I did
Yeah.
hear
So
that.
yeah. So I heard. So I heard. So listen, as long as we're talking about elections and whatnot. Okay, so today was the day that Fonnie Willis and
So painful.
Nathan Wade were in court, kind of, I guess, explaining their relationship and whatnot. And the judge is looking at, should they be removed from the elections case? Now, the fact that they have a relationship has nothing to do with the case. Nothing.
Right.
If she was having a relationship with one of the defense counsel, okay, you got a problem. If she was having a relationship with the judge, maybe you got a problem. She's having a relationship with a coworker. He's not influencing the evidence that has come in. It's not like she chose him specifically for that job over top of others. She had offered the job to several other people who said no before she offered it to him. So I know the optics for a lot of people don't look good, but really seriously, when was the last time that the Republican Party was concerned about optics and how things appear? So, don't tell me that all of a sudden you found your moral compass and now this is a clutch of pearls moment. So what's the sense? Are they going to be removed? And should they be removed?
Well, no, they shouldn't be removed.
They shouldn't be removed, but I'm trying to think, I think that the judge overseeing this, or whoever was overseeing it, is thinking in terms of, this is a good case against Trump. And if whatever Fonnie Willis was doing with the other prosecutor interferes, or that they could use that to discount something about this case, then they would have to let her go. But then I don't know. The other side could still use that, But they were also talking about something about these two, Fonnie Willis and her boyfriend, like that they might have been trying to make some extra money. I don't know. It had something to do with money.
Yeah, the money stuff is just ridiculous. And I see so many greased palms on this all over the place. The guy on MSNBC who's a law professor in Georgia saying, well, I think she should just step down just to avoid the whole look of impropriety. Clarence Thomas.
Yeah.
If impropriety is your yardstick, then I'd look over your shoulder there. But the problem is that it is going to this level, and it's the same judge who is presiding over the Trump case that is presiding over this, because it pertains to that other case. But so it's so ridiculous. They go back and forth. It's either that, well, they were having an scandalous affair. It wasn't an affair. He was divorced. She's divorced. They're two consenting adults. It's okay for people to have relationships. It's okay.
No, they're dating.
They're not anymore. They broke up, but they were dating.
Oh, they've already broke up.
They've already broken up. They were really good friends before they had a relationship, and they're still really good friends. Really, like best friends, like really good friends, but not having an actual romantic relationship anymore. So when that line of questioning kind of fell apart, then they start attacking his billing and saying that she approved his invoices for extraordinary amounts. And they tried to make it out that he was billing for work that he did in one day. saying that he worked 24 hours in one day and he was billing for that. And he said, no, if you look at the invoice, it says for the date ending. And so this, I only bill when I finish the task. Now, the task could take 2 weeks, it could take 5 days, it could take 1 day, but that date at the top of the invoice means that I finished on that day. And then within the invoice, it tells you how many hours I worked in the period leading up to that date, which
Yeah.
again could be 2 weeks, 5 days, 2 months, whatever. And then the number of hours by my hourly rate, and that's what I billed for. And yes, she approved it because she hired me to do this. And
Yeah.
they did not want him to actually get those words out. They did everything they could to try to stop him from saying it. The judge was very good about reining them in and saying, let him finish
Yeah.
answering. Same with Fani. She was trying to answer the questions. She was getting really pissed off. It was kind of interesting that she allowed herself to get so angry about this. But they were asking the stupidest things. They were trying to like pin her into a corner about when she moved to this particular condo and whether or not her and Wade went there and visited the person who lived there before her. What the hell does that have to do with anything? And they were implying that that would cause us to see her as a liar, and therefore she must be lying about when they started the relationship. They both, in both of their testimonies, were almost like to a T, the same information, right? And they asked him and said, have you discussed this case with Ms. Willis? Nope, I haven't. Oh, well, have you? And the judge is like, ask and answered, move on.
Yeah. Move on.
He said that so many times. So the problem here, though, is that they have, they've let the greasy stuff out of the can, and so now it's up to them to try to. And what I kept thinking, and as I was watching both of them on the stand, was like, if these two people were white, would this be happening?
No.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know if it's a
Million
racially
years.
motivated thing.
No, it is. It's the maggots. They don't like black people. They don't like Fonnie Willis. They're going to do everything they can. And this thing, they know that there's still a lot of racists out there. And especially in Georgia, they're still in the South. They're still racist.
Well, Judith over here in the chat section says that the relationship ended in the summer of 2023. I didn't know that. I mean, that they're dragging this out now. I mean, how long did that relationship last?
Like
how many
year.
times did those two have sex? I mean, what the, let's get into the intimate
Well,
details.
Well, inquiring minds want to know.
Yeah, and Wade was perfectly willing to talk about that. He's like, oh, do you mean when we were friends or when we started having sex? And the attorney was like,
really
yeah. And the attorney was like, well, I wasn't going to go there, but since you're going there, yes, we'll call it a personal relationship. So Book Bewitched, I agree. The judge did allow too much personal info to be asked, but he wanted to probe the information enough so that he could tell where does the ridiculousness start and where does it stop. And I'm afraid that it's going to end up that they are both going to have to step down. And I hope they do it before they disqualify her, because if they disqualify her, it disqualifies her whole office, which could effectively shut down the case.
Yeah.
Oh no.
And that is why they pulled this crap. And that is why they're pulling out all the race card, they overbilled. Oh, it's a scandalous affair. They're pulling out everything from the 1950s to try to make it seem like they've done something wrong. And they really haven't done anything wrong.
No.
Except for to be good investigators and prosecutors and find, investigate Trump and find out stuff about him. But
so what would a reading on this look like? Does it look like that they're gonna take them both out of there?
I stopped shuffling because I was looking at the stuff, so I'll shuffle.
Yeah. As much as I honestly believe that one has nothing to do with the other, I think that it does feel like they are going to be asked to step aside, only because I think the judge realizes probably that the evidence that is in this case, the evidence is solid. So you want to argue this one little point, who's going to prosecute you? It doesn't matter who's going to prosecute. You're going to get prosecuted. And these are the facts. So you don't like these prosecutors? Fine. We'll get another set.
Well, that's what I was thinking. But what Colleen was just saying is, depending on how they do it, they could wipe out the whole case. I don't like that.
Yeah, that's no bueno. So I let me see what comes out in these here, because this is, oh, what do we got here? Okay.
Yeah, book. I'm gonna catch it later. I missed it because I've been busy all day.
Oh my God. It was painful to listen to. I didn't hear all of it, but the parts that I heard, I was just like, oh my God. It just felt like a scene out of To Kill a Mockingbird. It was just painful. It was just horrible. So, yeah,
yeah.
I mean, I think, here's the thing, is it's a big, big gamble for her to try to sort of beat this case. It's a big gamble, because if she wins, great, everything goes on as normal. But if she loses, that case goes down the toilet. If she decides to step back now, and Wade, if they both step back now, they can plug in other people and move forward with the case. This is a case that she is staking her life's reputation on.
Yeah.
And it's such an important case for the United States. I think at some point, cooler heads are going to approach her and say, you can't risk this. Step back now. Let's see where the chips fall. And if it all just goes away, that whole thing about you guys, then we put you in later. We let you come back. But we don't want to risk this case going down the toilet. I think she's got to fall on her sword for this one. And I think she will, because
if she steps back, then they can go ahead and just have somebody else take all her work.
Yeah, her second in command, who's probably worked very closely with her anyway. She got a whole team of people. She doesn't appear in court in these cases. Yeah. She's not there asking the witnesses questions. She has other people doing it. So she has a whole team of people who are working on this case. It's not her by herself.
Well, then I think she will do what is best for the case.
Yes.
And if that's what it is, she will do that.
But I can just see her spitting nails. She is so pissed, and so is he. And I don't blame them. This is just blatant racism and misogyny. Blatant. It is so.
Yeah, totally.
It's just,
you know what? I get the star, and I also get the strength card. Yeah. So I think she was the one who was able to do the investigating and put everything together. And I think she's confident enough in her case that she's not going to lose the case because she wants to dig her heels in and it's going to be my way or the highway, right? She's going to be looking at the bigger picture. She just might and hand it over to somebody else, because at the end of the day, when the history books are written, her name is going to be in there.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Charges were brought by Fani Willis, and people are going to know that, I find it ironic that as big a racist as Trump is, who is bringing him down? Letitia James, Fani Willis.
And Alvin Bragg. He's also.
And Alvin Bragg. Yeah. All right. 3 people that he probably would never have allowed to live in one of his buildings.
That's right. That's right.
So
And I don't you think too that at this point everybody thinks of that case as Fonnie Willis's case?
yes,
No,
No
yes,
matter
absolutely.
who's prosecuting it, it's still Fonnie Willis's case. And I think if she plays her cards right and she can take a step, I think she can come back later.
Yeah, absolutely. She could, yeah, she could always be involved in it in different ways. And
Oh, excuse me, I just got hit. You know
What?
why she's going to come back later? Because
What?
while her and Wade are not doing this work, they're going to investigate those momos that investigated them, and they're going to find dirt on them, and they're going to find out that they were doing dirty stuff, and that's why she's going to be able to come back. Don't give a prosecutor some free time
yeah,
when you're trying to bring them in. Don't give them free time. You know what they will do? They'll investigate and prosecute. So you got to
Yeah.
be careful. You gotta be
especially if you piss them off.
Yes, yes. And who is her father? Isn't he a Black Panther? He's like head of the Black Panthers. Let me
Oh, could be.
Yeah, and she was talking about her dad a lot today because there was a whole thing about, did your dad stay in the house when you moved? It's like, what does this have to do with anything? It's so bad. Okay.
Yeah, because they were trying to establish timelines, like, did the relationship start? Because her dad was living with her, and her dad had moved out at certain point, and so was that when Mr. Wade moved in and that kind of stuff, which was
Well, they never lived together, but they did start the relationship after she hired him the first time. And they were making a big deal about renewing his contract, and they were already in a relationship. And she's just like, we're coworkers. I renewed the relationship. But when you were in Bahamas, did you discuss his contract? No, we were on vacation. We're on vacation.
too busy looking at that physique. To worry about, oh, by the way.
And they were trying to make a big deal out of the fact that she hadn't told people in the office that she was in a relationship with him. And she said, no, I'm a very private woman and I don't talk about my relationships in general. And everybody I work with knows that about me. So no, I did not tell anybody. And it wasn't because I was trying to hide it or cover it up. If I was dating, Joe Schmo, I wouldn't talk about it at work. I wouldn't tell people at work. That is the way I am. So they were trying to make a big deal about that. Okay, so her father, John C. Floyd III, was a founder of a faction of the Black Panthers, but grew disillusioned by the movement's infighting. But he was one of the founders of a portion of the Black Panthers, probably like the East Coast portion, because it sounds like he was on the East Coast. So he was a practicing criminal defense attorney. So you better believe that he is not fond of what's happening to her either.
No.
He took her to court with him when she was like really little, like 8 years old, like really young. And that's where she got a taste for all of this.
And let's not forget that all this sort of came about as a result of quote unquote information that was brought forth by his ex-wife. Now, what was the reason for the divorce? She had an affair with his best friend. Hello, pot, meet kettle. You two might know each other. Like, yeah.
And I think that's one of the first palms that got greased is somebody. Well, Trump said, you got to dig up some dirt on this woman, and then they discovered the ex-wife, and the divorce is long over. I mean, they've been divorced for a couple of years, like 3 years.
Yes.
Or something.
Yeah.
And the wife, I think she feels pretty bad about it. I
hope she does.
Because why? Why would she do that? For money?
Yeah.
But it's not like he's poor. He's doing fine. Anyway, it was really hard to watch their testimony because I just felt like, God, every time they had to call the other attorney sir, to me just felt like, I mean, I know everybody should do that when they're on the stand. You should be very courteous, very polite. But watching them and knowing the level that they're at in their careers to be called on like that was just so humiliating. And yet they were very proud, very, good with
Yeah.
it. They were very polite. For the most part, they didn't get angry. Funny, you could tell after a while she was getting pissed. She kept asking the attorney to stop yelling at her. I mean, he was really trying to browbeat her, and she kept saying, "Sir, do not yell at me. Please be
Yeah.
respectful. Do not yell at me." And he would back down. But I think even he was uncomfortable with it. The attorney that was
Yeah.
cross-examining them. It just was
Well,
not.
I hate to see her maybe have to step aside, but on the other hand, I would hate for them to lose everything with all the work she's put in, just an amazing amount of work, and she was always headed in the right direction.
Yeah.
Obviously, she's scared the hell out of Trump and his attorneys, so that they have done this, but they still have all that information.
Yeah, it doesn't change the evidence. The evidence is what the evidence is. It's just a matter of who's presenting it to you. And is it important who presents it to you? It doesn't change it.
No, it's not changed.
Yeah.
And there is other people that can present it without her. So I hope that's, if they're going to, see this as a problem, that's the way it works out. I think it would be great if she got to just stay on and just do what she was doing and forget about all this other stuff. But I don't think that the other side would allow that to happen. I mean, they've found something and they're just going for it. They're just pouring salt on the wound. Like, here she comes, we're going to get her. And they have threatened her that way, not with the boyfriend thing, but they threatened her for months now. They've been threatening her that she should be removed, that she should be taken off.
Yeah.
And then when they finally found something, she might have to eat a little humble pie. But on the other hand, we all know who came up with all the information. We all know who made the right steps to do what they're doing. And it's a very winnable case for Fani Willis and whoever takes over.
Yeah, because you have Trump on tape. Like there is no arguing he said what he said. It's just, anyway, I thought, all right, listen, we are at 1 hour, 22 minutes. One last question, if you have time.
Sure.
And this one I kind of thought was interesting. Mike Johnson has reached out to, he would like to have a private one-on-one with Biden. And and the Biden White House has said, why bother? And it occurred to me that, when you're begging and pleading for someone to please save your political career, those things are maybe best done behind closed doors. I think he knows that he's on his way out and he's looking for a little bit of democratic love. But why would he want to do it? What does he have to talk to Biden about?
Well, he's trying to justify why he turned down the passage of this bill for the borders for Ukraine and everywhere else. Even the Republicans are looking at him like, what the hell? That's what we've asked for. Yeah. And that's the best deal that's going to come our way. And he's like, well, no, wait, Trump doesn't want us to do this. He has screwed himself. He has screwed the Republican Party. This bill was so important. And now Biden's talking about ways to skirt around them to go ahead and do at least parts of it anyway. Yeah. But they were handed the best deal that anybody has seen in years. And this idiot is like, nope, I'm not going to do it. And they're like, oh, boy.
Sorry, my dad says I can't.
Exactly. That's about how stupid it is, because Trump,
not allowed.
It's going to affect his election if Biden gets anything in his favor for this border stuff. No, I mean, the whole country should be really pissed off at him, Johnson, because what an idiot. What a complete idiot to do that.
All the
And we-
Republicans, you can no longer stand up now and be taken seriously when you say, well, we need to fix the issue at the border. Yeah, you had what you needed to fix the issue at the border, and you said no, thank you. Sit down, shut the F up. Yeah, let the adults in the room talk.
So yeah, I don't see Mike Johnson being around too much longer. But it doesn't mean it's meaningless, because every time they get rid of one, they just put another doofus in there. But what he has screwed up on this last thing that they have presented to them, tried to get them to do it, because it was such a perfect deal. It's what everybody has asked for years, and they're finally saying, yes, this is what we want to give you. And this idiot says, no, not going to do it. Yeah, well, they just screwed themselves again. And I like, this whole Republican mess has just, for the last 3 years, they have accomplished absolutely nothing.
Yes. And yeah, that my follow-up sort of was going, and Book mentioned it. Yeah. They just went on vacation. The budget.
Yeah,
the
they did.
budget is due on March 1st and March the 8th. Okay. So what you going to do now, Mr. Johnson? Because you need, if you want another extension, you either deliver the budget or you're going to be looking for an extension, and you need Democratic help. Is that why you want to meet with Biden? So that you could say, yes, whatever you want. Yeah, just please don't let them fire me. Protect me.
Well, and there might be some other things besides this particular bill, is with the Bidens and Hunter Biden and this so-called let's impeach President Biden. Well, now the FBI has come out and said so-and-so admits they lied about the information they had about the Bidens. And this reflects just so badly on the Republicans, because they banked on false information. And whoever, I don't know who the guy was that had this, but he gave that information to Congress, and they went with it, said, here, we got it now, and they got nothing. It's a big, huge lie. So he might have wanted to go to Biden to maybe apologize or something, but I don't know.
All right. So I got something on this. I threw some.
What'd you get?
So, yeah, Mikey is really butthurt that that this border thing blew up in his face. He doesn't know which way to go. He did what he thought Big Daddy wanted him to do, and it turns out that Big Mommy doesn't like what Big Daddy wanted him to do. So now he's really just like crapping his pants. He just doesn't know how to handle things. He had been hoping that this was going to be his big, like, shining moment. He was like waiting for it to like bear fruit. And instead, it's all just dead apples. He has nothing. He has nothing with this. So he wants to go to Biden for a miracle. He figures Joe is also a godly man. I'm Moses. Here's Joe. He's basically God. So between us, we can part the Red Sea. So Moses, or Mikey, I mean, he goes by both names, actually. He regularly, traffics in miracles. Look at where he is. And so he really believes that if he prays hard enough, Trump will change his mind. He won't be kicked out as speaker, and somehow a border bill can still be reached. So he's dealing in la land. So Mikey, I think, has basically walked away from reality. Like he doesn't know what to do. He's really panicked. And so we're going to see him try to see Biden, try to get a miracle. And then when they go on vacation, you're going to hear crickets. Moses is not going to speak the whole time he's on vacation. And what's going to happen from there is that everybody's going to think that he's just sort of like, okay, I'll come back and maybe they'll bring back that border bill. But that's not what he's going to do. He's going to come back And a whole bunch of other people in Congress are going to have some great ideas, and they're going to start making moves. And before Mikey can do anything, stuff is just going to start happening. He may get disrobed or disbanded or dispatched or whatever it is. He may end up looking like the little boy who all of a sudden had his pants fall down on the playground. I mean, he's just going to be sitting there going, oh my God, what is going on? And he won't be able to control it, which we know he can't really control anything anyway.
Yeah.
So that's not going to be a surprise, but it will be amusing to watch him with his pants fall down on the playground. And I think once everything starts happening, Hakeem Jeffries. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm going to say about Hakeem. I just think he's, Hakeem Jeffries is maybe kind of the man for the moment. But I think
Yeah.
this is the demise of Moses, and I think he's just looking for a miracle, and he's not going to get one.
No.
Because Biden's pissed. Don't put egg on my.
I wouldn't. Yeah. You're trying to impeach me. I'm the devil incarnate. I'm a doddering old idiot who can't remember certain things and whatnot. But yet I'm powerful enough that I'm going to destroy democracy and Christianity as the world knows it.
Right. And you damn near drive my son back into addiction, and then you impeach my my Secretary of Homeland Security guy who's doing his damnedest, who can't win no matter what, because you a-holes won't agree to things that you say that you want.
Yeah.
So you want a little miracle, Mikey? How's this? You don't have a job anymore. There we go.
Yeah.
There's your
There you go.
You're relieved. You're relieved because you don't know how to do this job. So bye-bye.
Yeah. Go spend time with your family. Bless you. Perfect. Perfect. That is just the most perfect thing to end it on. Yes. Hakeem Jeffries.
Yes.
Ladies.
Prayer.
Yes. Yeah. This was so much fun. I hope that we'll have a chance to do this again, because I just, this is my forte. I just love chit-chatting about politics and different things and impressions and whatnot. So although we do, we are living in challenging times, but they're also very exciting times. I'm just glad to be on the sidelines watching it all.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, you're glad to be in Canada.
Well, there's that too. Yeah, I must admit there is that.
Hey, Marina, thanks so much for setting this up. This was a lot of fun. I would love to do it again. You are a lot of fun to talk with. So,
thank you. Yeah. Say the nicest things. Yeah, you're just for that. Yes, we're going to do this again.
Okay, great. That sounds like a deal.
Yeah. All right. Thank you everyone for being here, for joining us. Thank you for spending part of your evening with us. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to all our channels. And in the meantime, I'll see you sometime next week if I don't see you before. And these ladies, you're going to see them tomorrow and Saturday. Okay. Take care. Bye. Bye.